People take jokes way too seriously, like absurdly seriously, to the point where I'm starting to wonder if anyone understands what humor is anymore, or if everyone's just decided to be perpetually offended about everything. It was a joke, a casual throwaway comment that literally everyone makes. Everyone. It was a celebrity, a famous person, someone I will never meet in any meaningful context, someone who doesn't know I exist and never will. That doesn't count. That's not a real statement of intent. That's not planning to cheat. That's not even considering cheating. It's just acknowledging that attractive, famous people exist, and sometimes you see them perform, and they're impressive. That's it. That's all it was. I didn't say I would cheat. I need that to be absolutely clear from the beginning. I said if it ever happened, which it never would, if the Weeknd ever looked at me at a concert, if, by some impossible cosmic alignment, he noticed me in a crowd of thousands, then maybe I'd consider it. That's so many hypotheticals stacked on top of each other that it's basically meaningless. It's like saying, if I won the lottery, or if aliens landed. It's pure fantasy. Everyone has celebrity crushes, literally everyone. It's normal, it's harmless. It's human nature to find famous, talented, successful people attractive. That's why they're famous. That's why millions of people watch their performances and follow their careers. Acknowledging that you find someone attractive doesn't mean you're planning to act on it. It's just honesty. My husband knows I was joking. He has to know. We've been together for 6 years. He knows how I talk. He knows my sense of humor. He knows I say exaggerated things for effect sometimes. So he's just being insecure. He's taking something harmless and turning it into a relationship crisis because he can't handle the fact that other men exist in the world. That's his problem, not mine. Before we get into it, don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit hype to boost this episode. Drop a comment below with your city or country. I'm always curious where viewers are joining from. I keep repeating this to anyone who'll listen. It's not like I cheated with a real person. It's not like I had an affair. It's not like I even met someone and entertained the possibility. I went to a concert. I saw a performer I admire. I made a comment about how attractive he is. That's it. That's the entire story. Except apparently that's enough to destroy everything. She laughs it off like it's common sense, like anyone reasonable would agree with her, like the entire world is overreacting, and she's the only sane person left. We're sitting in the living room on a Sunday afternoon. I just got back from the Weeknd concert the night before. Best show of my life, honestly. The energy was incredible. And I'm still buzzing from it, scrolling through the videos on my phone, rewatching moments, reliving the experience. I'm showing him clips. The stage production, the lighting, the way he moves, the vocals. I'm enthusiastic, maybe overly so, but it was genuinely an amazing show. I paid good money for those tickets. I'm allowed to be excited. And then I say it, casually, like it's just a natural extension of the conversation, like it's not going to completely blow up our relationship. If the Weeknd ever looked at me at a concert, I'm sorry, but I'd cheat. No hesitation. Like, zero hesitation. I laugh as I say it, because it's funny, because it's so absurdly unlikely that it's safe to say, because I think he'll laugh too and we'll move on, and it'll just be one of those silly things couples say to each other, but he doesn't laugh. He doesn't even smile. He just looks at me with this expression I can't quite read, not angry, not hurt, just blank. I feel the need to fill the silence, to explain myself, to make it clear I'm joking. So I add, relax. It's a free pass. He's famous. It doesn't count. Everyone knows celebrity free passes don't count. He's still staring at me, still not saying anything. The silence is getting uncomfortable now. I roll my eyes because he's clearly being dramatic about this. Oh my God, don't be so serious. It's not like he even knows I exist. It's not like this would ever actually happen. It's pure hypothetical. That's when he quietly picks up his phone. Doesn't say a word, just picks it up and starts typing. I need to explain why what I said was completely normal, because apparently that needs to be spelled out. Girls say stuff like that all the time. Go to any group of women talking about concerts or celebrity crushes, and you'll hear the exact same kind of comments. I'd let him ruin my life. I'd let him destroy me. No jury would convict me. This is standard language. This is how people talk about celebrities they find attractive. Celebrity crushes are fantasy, pure fantasy. They're not real plans or intentions. They're just fun, harmless daydreams about people you'll never meet. Nobody actually thinks they're going to hook up with The Weeknd or Drake or whoever. But it's fun to pretend. It's fun to imagine. That's all it is. Men do it too. They just lie about it. Or they hide it better. Or they frame it differently. But every man I know has a celebrity they'd make an exception for. Every single one. They just don't admit it as openly as women do. But it's the same thing. The same harmless fantasy. I'd never actually get the chance, so why does it matter? That's the key point everyone seems to be missing. The entire premise is impossible. The Weeknd is not going to notice me at a concert. He's not going to pick me out of a crowd of thousands. He's not going to invite me backstage. None of this would ever happen in reality. So, saying I'd do something in a situation that will never occur is meaningless. It's like saying, if gravity stopped working, I'd fly. Technically a statement, but practically irrelevant. I completely ignore how disrespectful it might have sounded. Because I don't think it was disrespectful. I think I was being honest and real and fun. I think he should be secure enough in our relationship to handle me acknowledging that other attractive men exist. If he can't handle that basic reality, then we have bigger problems than my comment about The Weeknd. Instead of arguing with me, instead of telling me I crossed a line or asking me to clarify what I meant, he just sits there typing calmly on his phone. His face is expressionless. His fingers move deliberately across the screen. He's focused on whatever he's doing. I watch him for a minute, confused and slightly annoyed. "Who are you texting?" He doesn't look up, just answers in this completely casual tone. Someone I'd cheat with if I ever got the chance. I laugh. Because obviously he's joking. Obviously he's making a point. Obviously this is his way of showing me how ridiculous my comment sounded. It's clever, I'll give him that. But it's also unnecessary, because I wasn't actually serious about The Weeknd. "Very funny," I say. "Point made. Can we move on?" But he's still typing, and then I hear his phone start ringing. He's made a call, and a name appears on the screen. Amanda, his childhood crush, the girl he knew from ages 12 to 18, the one he's mentioned maybe 3 times in our entire relationship, the one who got away before anything ever really happened, the one I've seen in old photos, pretty and smiling, frozen in time at 16 years old. My stomach does this weird flip. "What are you doing?" He doesn't answer, just waits for her to pick up. She answers. I can hear her voice, warm and friendly and familiar. "Oh my God, hi! It's been forever!" He puts the call on speaker, makes sure I can hear every word. "Hey, Amanda. Yeah, it's been a while. How are you?" They do the standard catching up small talk. Her life, his life, mutual acquaintances they've both lost touch with. She sounds genuinely happy to hear from him. He sounds relaxed and natural. I'm sitting there frozen, trying to figure out what's happening. Then he says it, calmly, casually, like it's the most normal question in the world. "Random question for you. If we were both single, would you ever go out with me?" There's a pause. My heart is pounding. This isn't happening. He's not actually asking his childhood crush this. He's not actually... Then she laughs, not uncomfortable, not dismissive, actually pleased. "Honestly? Yeah, I always wondered what would have happened between us. You were always so sweet and I was too shy to ever say anything." "Yeah, I think I would." I feel like the floor just dropped out from under me. My whole body goes cold, and then hot, and then cold again. This is not happening. This is not real. What are you doing? I'm yelling now, can't help it, can't control my voice. Hang up! He looks at me. His expression is perfectly calm, almost serene, and he says to me, while she's still on the line, relax. She's not famous, but apparently that's the only rule that matters, right? He doesn't hang up. He keeps the conversation going, and she doesn't know what's happening, doesn't know I'm here listening, doesn't know this is some kind of revenge scenario. They reminisce about high school, about the time they almost kissed at a party but got interrupted, about the time he walked her home and they talked for 2 hours on her porch, about how they both thought the other wasn't interested, about all these what-if moments that I didn't know existed. They laughed together, natural, easy laughter. The kind of laughter that comes from shared history and genuine connection. The kind of laughter that makes it clear they actually liked each other, could have been something, almost were something. They flirt, subtle but unmistakable. Little comments about how the other hasn't changed, how they're probably even better now. How timing is funny sometimes. It's gentle and sweet and absolutely devastating to listen to. He says, still in that calm, casual tone, maybe we should catch up sometime. Properly. Get coffee or dinner. And she agrees, enthusiastically. I'd love that, really. It'd be nice to see you. They exchange information, make vague plans, promise to text soon. She sounds genuinely excited. He sounds perfectly content. Then he hangs up. The silence in our living room is deafening. I'm staring at him, tears already forming, completely unable to process what just happened. He calmly sets his phone down and says, "You're right. It doesn't count unless it's real, right? Unless there's actual possibility." I start crying, trying to explain, words tumbling out in a confused rush. That's different. That's completely different. She's real. You can actually do something with her. The weekend is impossible. He nods slowly. Exactly. She's real. She's accessible. She said yes. So by your logic, I should pursue this, right? Since free passes are acceptable and celebrity crushes don't count, real crushes must be even more valid. No, that's not... You're twisting what I said. Am I? You said if the weekend ever looked at you, you'd cheat. I just asked Amanda if she'd go out with me, and she said yes. I didn't even have to be famous. I just had to ask. So who's actually closer to cheating here? That was 4 weeks ago, 28 days of living in a nightmare that started with a casual comment about a celebrity and somehow ended with my husband actually getting coffee with his childhood crush. Yes, they met up. He told me he was going. Told me 2 days in advance, very calmly, that he had plans with Amanda on Saturday afternoon. Didn't ask permission, didn't apologize, just informed me like he was mentioning a dentist appointment. I begged him not to go, cried, pleaded, explained that I didn't mean what I said about the weekend, promised I'd never make comments like that again, swore I was just being stupid and thoughtless, and I didn't actually want to cheat with anyone. He listened to all of it and then said, "But you did mean it enough to say it out loud. You were confident when you said it. You thought it was funny. You thought I'd just accept that you'd throw away our relationship for a celebrity encounter. So I'm just following your lead, exploring possibilities you've established as acceptable." He went to coffee with her, was gone for 3 hours, came back pleasant and quiet, didn't volunteer information. When I asked how it went, he just said, "Nice, good to catch up." That's all I got. Nice, good to catch up. No details, no reassurance, no explanation of what they talked about or whether anything happened. Just that infuriating calm that's been his default mode for weeks now. I've asked him 100 times if anything happened, if he kissed her, if he's planning to see her again, if our marriage is over. He just says variations of the same thing. Does it matter? You said free passes were acceptable. I'm just operating within the framework you established. We're still living together but barely interacting. He's polite, he makes dinner, he does his share of chores, but there's no warmth, no affection, no intimacy of any kind. We're roommates who happen to be married. That's all we are now. I can't sleep. I lie awake replaying that Sunday afternoon over and over. My stupid comment. His phone call. Amanda's voice saying she'd go out with him. The coffee date I couldn't stop. The 3 hours he was gone. What might have happened that he's not telling me about. Every time his phone buzzes, I wonder if it's her. Every time he's on his phone, I wonder if they're texting. Every time he leaves the house, I wonder if he's actually going where he says, or if he's meeting her again. The paranoia is constant and exhausting. I went back and deleted all my concert videos. Can't look at them. Can't think about the Weeknd without my stomach dropping. Can't listen to his music. The thing I was so excited about has been completely ruined by association with the worst mistake of my life. Our friends know something's wrong, but I can't tell them the real story. How do I explain this? I made a joke about cheating with a celebrity, and my husband called his childhood crush, and they're maybe dating now. It sounds insane. It sounds like I'm the villain, which apparently I am. My sister is the only one who knows the full story. She said, very bluntly, "You told him you'd cheat with a celebrity, and you're surprised he called your bluff with someone real. What did you think would happen? That he'd just sit there and take it?" Even she's not fully on my side. Nobody is. Everyone thinks I brought this on myself. Everyone thinks his response was reasonable, and mine wasn't. Everyone thinks I'm getting what I deserve. I've stopped making any comments about any celebrity being attractive. Won't watch movies with actors I find appealing. Won't listen to music by artists I think are talented and good-looking. Won't engage in any conversation about celebrity crushes or free passes or attraction to anyone other than my husband. But it's too late. The damage is done. The door is open. Amanda exists in our lives now in a way she didn't before. She's real. She's interested. She said yes. And I opened the door that let her back in. Work is the only place I can escape from thinking about this, but even that's not great. I'm distracted constantly. Make mistakes. Miss deadlines. My boss pulled me aside to ask if everything was okay at home. I lied and said yes, but I don't think he believed me. I've thought about going to marriage counseling, suggested it twice. My husband said very calmly, "I don't think we need counseling. You established rules. I'm following them. That's not a counseling issue." I've thought about just leaving, packing my stuff and moving out. But where would I go? And more importantly, why should I leave when I'm the one who wants to save this? He's the one who seems fine with how things are. He's the one who's perfectly content to live in this cold, distant version of our marriage. My therapist started seeing her 2 weeks ago when the panic attacks got too frequent to ignore. Keeps asking me what I expected would happen. Why I felt safe making that comment. What I thought it would communicate to him. I didn't think it would communicate anything. It was a joke. But jokes communicate something. They reveal what we're thinking, what we value, what we find acceptable. You joked that you'd cheat with a celebrity. What did you think that told him about how you value your relationship? I don't have a good answer. I'm starting to realize I don't have good answers for a lot of things. She asks if I understand why he did what he did. I tell her it was vindictive and cruel and disproportionate. She asks if it was actually disproportionate, or if he just held up a mirror and showed me what I'd said from his perspective. He called his childhood crush, someone real, someone he can actually be with. And you said you'd cheat with the Weeknd, someone you find so attractive that you'd throw away your marriage for one encounter. How is that different from him reaching out to someone he once cared about who's actually interested in him? When she puts it like that, I don't have an answer. And that's what's killing me. That maybe, possibly, everyone's right and I'm wrong. That maybe I destroyed this all by myself with one thoughtless comment. Our parents know something is wrong. His parents called me last week, first time they've initiated contact with me in months, to ask what I did to upset their son so badly. Not, what happened between you two? Not, are you okay? What did I do? Like it's automatically my fault. Which it is, but the assumption still stung. I tried to explain without giving details. Said we had a disagreement about boundaries and respect. His mum said, well, whatever you said or did, you need to apologize and fix it. That boy loved you completely. You must have done something terrible to make him this distant. She's right. I did. I told him I'd cheat with a celebrity with zero hesitation. I announced that our 6-year relationship was less valuable to me than a hypothetical encounter with a famous person I'll never meet. That's pretty terrible when you strip away all the justifications. My own parents are disappointed in me too, though they don't know the specifics. My dad just said, marriage is about respect. If you've lost his respect, that's very hard to get back. Think about what you might have done to lose it. My mom keeps sending me articles about saving your marriage and rebuilding trust without actually asking what happened. I've lost weight, about 12 pounds in 4 weeks. Can't eat normally. Food tastes like cardboard. My stomach is constantly in knots. Clothes that used to fit are hanging off me now. People at work have commented, "Are you sick? You look really thin. Is everything okay?" I lie and say I'm fine. I'm training for a race. I'm trying a new diet. Anything but the truth. I've started having panic attacks, real ones, where my chest gets tight and I can't breathe and I think I'm dying. They happen at random times, at work, at the grocery store, driving. Once in the middle of the night when I woke up from a nightmare about him and Amanda together. The therapist says it's my body processing trauma and stress, says I need to develop coping mechanisms, gave me breathing exercises and grounding techniques. They help sometimes. Other times nothing helps, and I just have to ride it out until my body remembers how to breathe normally. I've become obsessed with Amanda's social media. Check it multiple times a day, even though she's private and I can't see anything beyond her profile picture. That picture haunts me. She's pretty, really pretty, the kind of effortless pretty that doesn't need filters or perfect lighting. She looks kind, happy, stable, everything I'm not right now. I've imagined their coffee date 1,000 times, recreated it in my head with different variations. Sometimes they just talk and it's innocent and nothing happens. Sometimes they kiss. Sometimes they leave together and go back to her place. Sometimes he falls in love with her all over again. Every version ends with me losing him. Every single one. I found an old photo album in the closet 2 weeks ago. High school pictures. There she is, Amanda, smiling next to my husband when he was 17. They look happy together. Natural. Like they fit. I stared at that photo for an hour, trying to figure out what she had that I don't. What made her special enough that 20 years later, he'd reach out to her to prove a point. Or maybe not to prove a point. Maybe because he actually wanted to. That's what terrifies me most. The possibility that this isn't just revenge. That maybe calling her wasn't just about showing me what I'd done. That maybe he's been thinking about her for years. That maybe my comment about the Weeknd just gave him permission to act on something he already wanted. Work performance has gotten even worse. I got my first official written warning last week. Failure to meet performance standards. Persistent errors and missed deadlines. Needs immediate improvement. My boss said if things don't turn around in 30 days, we'll need to discuss other options. Translation. I'm 1 month away from being fired. I can't focus, can't think straight, can't do even simple tasks without my mind wandering to Amanda and what might be happening with her and whether my marriage is over and how I'm going to survive if it is. The work piles up, the mistakes multiply, the warnings accumulate. One more disaster in a life full of them now. 2 weeks after the coffee date, I found my suitcase by the door when I came home from work. Not thrown there angrily, not stuffed haphazardly, neatly packed, carefully arranged, my clothes folded, my toiletries organized, everything I'd need for an extended stay somewhere else. I stood there staring at it, not understanding. He came out of the bedroom and said, very calmly, "I think you should stay somewhere else for a while." What? Why? What happened? Nothing happened. I just need space. I need time to think about what I want. Is this about Amanda? Did something happen with Amanda? He just looked at me with those empty eyes. This is about you saying you'd cheat with a celebrity and me realizing you meant it. Whether I explore things with Amanda or not is my decision, made within the rules you established. I didn't mean it. How many times do I have to say that? You meant it enough to say it out loud. You were confident. You laughed. You thought it was funny to tell your husband you'd cheat given the chance. That tells me everything I need to know about how you value us. I grabbed the suitcase handle, hands shaking. Where am I supposed to go? Your sisters, your friends, a hotel. I don't know, but you can't stay here right now. You're kicking me out because of a joke. I'm creating space because you showed me you're willing to throw away our relationship for fantasy, and I need to figure out if I want to be in a relationship with someone who thinks that way. That was 2 weeks ago. I've been staying with my sister ever since. Sleeping on her couch, that's too short for me. Living out of that carefully packed suitcase. Wearing the same 5 outfits on rotation. Using her shower and her soap and feeling like an intruder in someone else's life. Waiting desperately for him to tell me I can come home. He texts me occasionally, only practical things. Your credit card bill came. Package delivered. Need you to sign this form. Nothing personal, nothing warm, nothing that suggests he misses me or wants to fix this. Just logistics, just the bare minimum communication required to manage shared responsibilities. When I try to turn these practical exchanges into real conversations, try to ask how he's doing or whether he's thought about us, he keeps it brief, frustratingly brief. I'm still thinking. I need more time. I'll let you know when I've decided. Decided what? Whether our marriage continues? Whether I'm worth keeping? Whether Amanda is better? He never specifies, and I'm too afraid to push for clarification. I don't know if he's seeing Amanda. That's the worst part. The complete absence of information. I don't know if that coffee date was a one-time thing or the beginning of something ongoing. I don't know if they've gone out again. I don't know if they're texting constantly. I don't know if he's fallen in love with her. I don't know if she's at our house, my house, right now while I'm on my sister's couch. I asked him directly once. "Are you seeing her?" He responded, "Does it matter? Would knowing change anything? Would it make you understand what you did better?" That's not an answer. That's evasion. That's him leaving me in this horrible state of uncertainty on purpose. And the not knowing is torture. Pure, calculated, intentional torture. He's keeping me in this limbo where I can't move on because technically we're still married, but I can't move back because he won't let me. Where I just have to wait and wonder and imagine every possible worst-case scenario playing out in vivid detail. I imagine them together constantly. Can't help it. Can't turn it off. I imagine them having dinner, laughing over shared memories. I imagine them kissing. I imagine her in our bed. I imagine him looking at her the way he used to look at me. I imagine him being happy with her, happier than he ever was with me. Every scenario ends the same way. I lose everything and they get their second chance. My sister is getting tired of me being here. She hasn't said it outright yet, but I can tell. She's making pointed comments about how I need to figure things out and make decisions about my future and consider what's best for everyone. Translation: you can't live on my couch forever and I need my space back. Her husband is less subtle. He asked last night in front of me, "How long is this situation going to last?" Not sympathetic, not concerned, just annoyed that I'm disrupting their routine. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want me here either. I'm running out of money, fast. I'm paying for food, toiletries, gas, therapy, all on my single salary, without access to our joint account. My personal checking account is nearly empty. My credit card is maxing out. I have maybe 2 more weeks before I literally cannot afford to eat. I asked him about money, about whether we could work out some temporary arrangement so I'm not destitute. He said, "You have your own income, use that." Like it's that simple, like I haven't been relying on our combined finances for 6 years. Like suddenly being on one income isn't a massive adjustment. I've started looking at apartments I can't afford. Studios and one-bedrooms that require security deposits I don't have. Roommate situations with strangers that make my skin crawl. Rooms in shared houses where I'd have to live with random people at 32 years old like I'm fresh out of college. This is my reality now. These are my options. All because I made a joke about the Weeknd. All because I said something thoughtless that I didn't mean, but that revealed something true about my careless disregard for his feelings. All because I couldn't keep my mouth shut for 1 minute. I've stopped going out. Can't face people. Can't deal with questions about where I'm living, or why I'm not wearing my ring, or how my husband is doing. I make excuses. Say I'm busy. Say I'm not feeling well. Say anything to avoid admitting that my marriage fell apart, and I'm homeless, and it's entirely my fault. My friends have noticed. Sarah texted, asking if I wanted to grab lunch. I made an excuse. Mike invited me to game night. I said I couldn't make it. Jessica keeps trying to plan something. I keep putting her off. Eventually they'll stop asking. Eventually they'll give up. And I'll have lost them too. I went to the house last week when I knew he'd be at work. Used my key. He hasn't changed the locks yet, probably because that feels too final even for him. Just wanted to get some more clothes, some personal items I'd forgotten in the hasty packing. Everything looked the same but felt different. The couch where I made that comment. The kitchen where we used to cook together. Our bedroom where we used to sleep together. It all felt like a museum of a life I used to have. A life that ended the second I said, I'd cheat if the Weeknd looked at me. I stood in that living room for 20 minutes just crying. This was my home, my space, my life. And I destroyed it with one sentence. One stupid, thoughtless sentence that I can't take back no matter how many times I apologize. I wrote him a letter, a real handwritten letter like people used to do, poured out everything I've been feeling, the regret, the understanding of what I did wrong, the desperate desire to fix it, the promise to never be so careless again. 3 pages of apology and explanation and begging. Left it on the kitchen counter where I knew he'd see it. He texted me the next day. Got your letter. I appreciate the apology. Still need time. That was it. 3 pages of my heart spilled out on paper, and I got 8 words in response. I don't even know if he read the whole thing or just skimmed it. So that's where I am now. 4 weeks after a casual comment, living on my sister's couch, separated from my husband, waiting to find out if my marriage is over because I joked about cheating with a celebrity. And part of me, the stubborn, defensive part that refuses to accept full responsibility, still wants to say I didn't deserve this, that it was just a joke about a celebrity, that the Weeknd doesn't even know I exist, that fantasy isn't the same as reality, that his response was cruel and calculated and way out of proportion to what I said. But I'm sitting here alone, in someone else's living room, with all my possessions in a suitcase, and I can't keep pretending this is all his fault. I said I'd cheat if the Weeknd ever looked at me. I said it confidently. I said it while showing him videos of the concert, while clearly excited about seeing this man perform, while making it obvious that I found him attractive enough that I'd throw away 6 years of marriage for one hypothetical encounter. And my husband heard that and realized something. Realized that to me, he's replaceable. Realized that I value fantasy more than reality. Realized that I think about other men in a way that isn't just harmless appreciation, but actual conditional betrayal. He didn't have to cheat. He didn't have to do anything with Amanda. He just had to show me what it felt like to hear your partner say they'd prefer someone else given the chance. He just had to make me feel the jealousy and inadequacy and fear that he must have felt when I said what I said. Amanda is real. Amanda is accessible. Amanda said yes when he asked if she'd go out with him. He didn't have to be famous or talented or special. He just had to be himself and ask. And she was interested. Has maybe always been interested. Might still be interested now. The Weeknd doesn't know I exist. Didn't look at me at the concert. Didn't notice me in the crowd of thousands. Never will notice me. Never will care about me. Never will be a real option. But I was willing to destroy my marriage over the hypothetical possibility anyway. My husband remembered someone who does know he exists, someone who has looked at him, someone who noticed him enough that 20 years later she still wonders what could have been, someone who's real and available and actually interested, and I gave him permission to pursue that by establishing that free passes were acceptable. That attraction to others was harmless. That fantasy about being with someone else wasn't a betrayal. I set those rules. He just followed them with someone who actually exists. I whisper to myself sometimes, lying awake on my sister's couch at 3 a.m. while she and her husband sleep peacefully in the next room. It was just a joke, just a celebrity crush, just a stupid comment that everyone makes. It shouldn't have ended everything. But I know better now. Deep in my bones, in the parts of myself I've been forcing myself to examine in therapy, I know better. It wasn't just a joke. It was a careless revelation of something broken in how I think about commitment. It wasn't just a celebrity crush. It was me telling my husband, confidently and publicly, that he was worth less to me than a fantasy. It wasn't just a stupid comment everyone makes. It was specific and enthusiastic and hurtful in ways I'm only now beginning to understand. Fantasy jokes hurt most when they remind someone they're replaceable in real life. When they make it clear that you're only with them because you couldn't get something better. When they communicate that, given a choice, given a chance, given the opportunity, you'd take it. You'd throw them away for an upgrade. I thought I was being fun and honest and relatable. He heard that he wasn't enough, that he was second choice to any famous person I found attractive, that our relationship wasn't worth preserving if someone better came along, even in pure fantasy, that I'd already decided, already chosen, already planned my betrayal. I was just waiting for the opportunity that would never come. And now he's making me feel exactly what he felt. The not knowing, the wondering, the imagining worst-case scenarios. The paranoia that maybe while I'm sitting here alone, he's with someone else building something new. The fear that I've been replaced. The inadequacy of knowing someone else might be better. The jealousy eating me alive from the inside. Every horrible feeling I put him through with one careless comment about the Weeknd. The difference is, the Weeknd is impossible. Amanda is real. I can't actually lose my husband to the Weeknd because that could never happen. But I can lose him to Amanda. Might be losing him to Amanda right now. Might have already lost him. And I did this to myself. I opened the door. I established the rules. I made fantasy acceptable. He just showed me what happens when fantasy has a real person's face and name and phone number. My phone is on the couch next to me right now. It's 3:47 a.m., and I'm writing this story on my laptop while refreshing my messages every 30 seconds, hoping to see his name appear. Hoping for a text that says, "Come home." Hoping for any indication that there's still a chance. But the screen stays blank. The messages stay unread. The hope keeps fading. The Weeknd doesn't know I exist. Didn't look at me. Didn't notice me. Never will. And my husband, the man who did know I existed, who did look at me every day, who did notice me and choose me and commit to me, he's gone. Replaced himself with someone who might appreciate him better than I did. Someone who won't joke about cheating with celebrities. Someone who understands that fantasy can hurt just as much as reality when you're the one being replaced by it. And I did this. Me. with my stupid comment about a concert and a celebrity and a hypothetical encounter that meant nothing to me, but apparently meant everything about how little I valued what I had. I destroyed us while trying to be fun. I lost him while trying to be honest. I ended everything while thinking I was saying nothing important. 4 weeks ago, I had a husband, a home, a marriage, a future. Now I have a suitcase, a couch, a separation, and memories of a concert that ruined everything. All because I couldn't think before I spoke. All because I didn't consider how it would feel to be told you're not enough. All because I thought fantasy was harmless, when really it's the most honest thing we say.